give props to Dean Floyd and the course of the School of Business and Dr. Ola Detoye from the School of Engineering in developing a type of multidisciplinary process that's going to involve emergency preparedness, renewable energy, and I want to give props to the Atlanta Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce for being part of the glue, bringing all this together. So thank you as well, too.
That's a good segue. John, can you kind of elaborate on some of the things that you've been engaged in from the entertainment perspective, and how does that transition into the green economy? I heard, we talk about the green economy. I know the green is going on, and this session right here is about job creation in the arts, digital entertainment, and media industry. So can you tell us a little bit about what you have seen in terms of opportunities that are out there that we need to be concerned about?
Yes, I can. One of the things for every person in the room is actually connected in this industry already. And I think what Asante was describing earlier in terms of business and economic development, what Stacy mentioned in terms of the city putting together, a film office is powerful because everyone understands commerce. So no matter where you are in the room, you may say, okay, I'm a television producer, I'm a film producer, I'm a music producer, I'm a person who's a real estate salesman. How do we integrate? How do we all interact? It's all commerce. And I'll just say this from one of my experiences. I've been in entertainment and sports attorney nearly 16 years. And when I was in Atlanta, I dealt with, recording artists, television and film producers, all the time. And one of the biggest discussions I would always have with folks is like, music is international. Film is international. So we think, that we of course have to operate locally when you can operate internationally. And one of the things that Asante mentioned, when we talk about interactive media, new media, the internet made the world very small. And so in this context of what we're talking about commerce, there is so much commerce that goes on every day that you may not think has anything to do with each other. And I'll just do a small example and let Stacy and Asante roll with it too. Because this, what we wanted to do is not speak to you from the stage, but this is what the Chamber does so well in getting, of course, feedback and insight, because there's so many valuable people in the room. But I want to say specifically, when you talk about interactive media and you talk about commerce, for example, people mention Brazil. Brazil, of course, is the 7th largest economy in the world, on its way to being the 6th. What many people may not know is that Brazil is a country that has nearly 50% people of African descent. And you don't hear that combination much. And it's one of these types of things that's being dealt with right here at CAU and understanding how commerce and interactive media correlate. The reason I'm saying that is that when you talk about the creation of new media and commerce, Georgia and Brazil do business already. We talked about, of course, the television and film industry, which has about $2 billion. But Georgia's biggest industry in commerce is agribusiness, which is about $60 billion annually. For Georgia, Georgia's 9th largest trading partner, and there are 50 states in the United States, Georgia's 9th largest trading partner is Brazil. So Brazil does more business in Georgia than 41 other states in the United States. That's important. Same way for Brazil. In Brazil, Georgia is Brazil's 3rd largest trading partner in the United States. So what we understand is that no matter what the title is, no matter what level of commerce that you get involved in, we're all interconnected.
Stacey, on the mayor's office, on that same kind of line, what are some of the things that we can kind of look forward to that's been in discussion that we can transfer into economic opportunities that we need to be focused on?
Excellent question. Thank you, Michael. Well, the first thing I would like to talk about is, to address Michael's question, is the importance of the city, the importance of the city of Atlanta supporting constituents who are in the entertainment business. What I've learned just from some research, I've been researching this probably for the last year and just got the approval to move it forward recently, is that once we crew up with about 4 to 5 crews, we're done. Literally, productions are looking for other places, not because they don't want to come to Atlanta, but just because, guess what? We don't have any more talent. So the first thing I want to do after we hopefully get this office created is to make sure we support you all in your talent, whatever you want to do. Whether there's an electrician who wants to say, get creative with his, his education in the electrical field and say, gosh, I can be a grip, I can be a gaffer, I can, but just haven't had the proper training availability. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure, even with your above the line talent, we want to be a home for independent filmmakers, the producers, the directors, and the talented people who make that industry strive. Because we know that if we invest in you, guess what? You're not going to go to LA, where you just told me Will Packard, one of my closest friends, is now shooting the Steve Harvey film. I don't want to hear that. I want Will to stay in Atlanta, and we know that from a city level, and this mayor recognizes, if we invest in you, then you'll find your home here, and we won't have to always, which I adore Tyler Perry for doing what he's done, but we can have another Tyler Perry who says, no, I need to do business in Georgia. I need to do business in the city of Atlanta. So one of the main things we're going to work towards is honestly creating more talent and actively from a city level working with you all. And just like we would do anything else, we have classes for every other industry, so why not support the entertainment industry?
You talked about the disconnect. Us not getting access to that information. I mean, over the period of time, and I want all the panelists to elaborate on that, what do you see as the disconnect? And John, talk about what do we see as the connect?
Well, that's an easy question. It's always with entertainment, I think it's going to be finance. I think angel investing, venture investing, a lot of us just don't have the know-how to know how to actually raise a fund or raise money. I run across artists all the time. That's usually always the first thing is, how do I raise money? Can you give me some money? And hey man, I don't have money for you. I'm sorry, I got a family to support. But usually that's going to be the first thing. So I think there's very sophisticated models and different things that I've had access to, just kind of learning and seeing. There is opportunity there. Film funds, venture funds. I'm pretty, I would say blessed, but in my industry, digital media, more of the angel venture guys come to me all the time because they want to know what's next, what's new. So again, hopefully, like Stacey's mentioning, even maybe hopefully partnering with you on stuff, on working on ways we can even teach you guys or students how to actually raise capital, how to raise money. But to do that as a stage, you just can't go and just say, well, want it quickly or want it overnight, you want the money. You need to know how to build a business plan. You need to start there. You need to know how to reach out for family, maybe initial seed funds, stuff like that. So again, I think that's kind of the disconnect that I see mostly in this industry.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of things I'd chime in on. It's like we were talking about, it's never too important to network. And so right now, we're at Clark Atlanta University. And a lot of times the industry, for example, it's like we always deal with the biggest issues, and that's distribution, So there's so many recording artists out here that say, well, you know what, I need a record deal, I need a record deal. And I used to be one of the biggest purveyors. People who know me as a lawyer, I used to say, I hate sometimes being the gatekeeper to the realms of vanity and materialism. Why? Because the people who believe that you need a record deal in order to be seen and be heard, I go like, guys, that's a myth. So let's just be myth busters on this one. When we talk about distribution, show of hands, how many folks out here know someone who is producing a television or reality show or some type of television production themselves, or know someone who is? It's a lot of folks. How many people know that Clark Atlanta University operates under a license with Comcast, where this actual production, and of course many productions that go on, reaches 89,000 households in the city of Atlanta. So ESPN, if you got Comcast in the city of Atlanta, you're watching ESPN, guess what? Channel 23, CAU Television, reaches that same number of people. You know what I'm saying? So how many people have conversed with CAU Television in their productions to say, look at CAU Television as a distribution outlet? You see what I'm saying? So check one, you like that, is that guess what? The network is right in front of you. We live, you know what I'm saying, like that, and what the opportunities are. On another point, as Asante mentioned, an open opportunity when we understand what distribution is. The internet is distribution, but understand how you want to utilize it and commercialize it so that it makes money for you. One of the incredibly powerful things in terms of interactive media and new media, Brazil, as described, of course, is the largest concentration of people of African descent outside of Nigeria. So every other African nation has a smaller African population than Brazil does. Why is that relevant? The official language in Brazil is Portuguese. Official language in the United States is English. And the reason why a lot of people aren't doing commerce, Mike, is that guess what? Don't follow Portuguese. Don't speak the language. So where's the opportunity? Sante knows. This is what it's about. Stacy knows that guess what? The opportunity is in language. Language is the opportunity. That's not the problem. That's the opportunity. So what do? You create partnerships where you offer English as a foreign language, English as a second language, and guess what? Do the same thing. Offer Portuguese as a foreign language. Because guess how many CEOs of Fortune 100 companies right now are teaching their elite, their executives, how to follow Portuguese. You see what I'm saying? Those are where the opportunities are.
Hi, I'm Patty Walden, and I just want to say thank you so very much for joining us again for the panel discussion on job creation through the arts and entertainment industry as well as digital media. We certainly appreciate you having been here with us. We hope that you enjoyed it. We look forward to another opportunity to invite you out. On behalf of the Atlanta Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce, please visit us at ambcc.org and to see what's going on next. We're always keeping things going just for you, and we want to say thank you so very much to Clark Atlanta for allowing us to be here at this wonderful facility at the Clark Atlanta Woodruff Library, and we want to say thank you so very much to Clark Atlanta Television for allowing this to happen. Thank you so very much. We're grateful. And join us back for another time and another exciting event and discussion for the Atlanta Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce.
I think it went really well. I mean, I was very enlightened and pleasantly surprised because I always sometimes had lower expectations, but this overexceeded my expectations tremendously.
I thought that the presentation was very informative. I thought that it was very concise. It was information that could be geared towards anyone from various fields, and I thought that was very intuitive on behalf of the panelists.
When Michael went around and had each individual stand up and give a note or something about themselves, that was really genius, because a lot of times everyone doesn't like to quote unquote network. So that gave me the opportunity to get to know someone who may not have come up to me, I approach everybody, who I could approach.